Testing,
Getting,
testing.
you good there, Hunter?
Alright, that should be working. Hello, everybody, and welcome to race number 10 of the EFRL, East to West Apparel Co. ARCA series. Your usual broadcaster is not in here tonight, so I will be filling in for him. My name is Hunter Wellman. I do apologize, this was meant to start about 10 minutes ago, but I have had some technical difficulties on my side. Right now we are watching Joshua Reese take his lap. He is currently second quick. Looks like he has tied pole time, actually. .00 seconds off of pole. The 94 of Dylan Dunford taking pole. I do believe qualifying is actually almost over. It took me a minute to get my microphone working. While qualifying is finishing up, let's go ahead and look at today's race info. We will be doing 65 laps around the infamous Talladega Superspeedway, a 2.66 mile full throttle racetrack. Bunch of room for these racers, but they will all be stacked up in one giant pack the whole race. It will be very chaotic out there today. Tonight will be a race of survival for these drivers. This is our second of 2 Superspeedway stops of the year. I competed in the first one and unfortunately wrecked out halfway through. So I know what it's like to feel the bitter defeat of these violent racetracks. I believe we still have one or two more drivers on track. Well, it looks like qualifying will be over.
All right, guys. Welcome to race number 10 of the East to West Apparel ARCA series. We got a good field tonight. Guys, let's have some patience. This is 65 laps at Talladega. It is a long race. You can't win it on the first lap, and you can't win it on the first 64 laps either. So let's put on some green flag racing.
I apologize for that. I was doing some races earlier. Give you a little insight into what the drivers are hearing as they are gridding up. That was race control Dean Qualley, giving them a little bit of information about the race. Before we get into the 65 lap feature, why don't we go ahead and look at our starting grid. Dustin Buck on pole with Dan Park to his outside, just over 100th of a second off. In third will be Dylan Dunford. In the 94 car to his outside will be Forrest Hamilton. Joshua Reese, who we were following for most of qualifying, will take the 5th spot with Brandon Combs on his outside. Bad Brad Stefane will make the inside of row 4 with Josh Fox to his outside. Behind them will be Anthony Hamilton and Farron Elam Jr. And that was the top 10, but rounding out the top 12 will be Brandon Dunford in the 19 and Roy Hyde in the 00. Let's give everybody a second to get in their cars, and we should be going green here soon. The drivers will do one pace lap before the pace car pulls off, and then they'll have 65 laps to decide tonight's winner. Looks like everybody is now on track. We are aboard with Dan Park in the shotgun position. These drivers don't get much time to warm their tires. On some tracks, it would be a huge advantage, but when you're going to be in such a tight pack the whole time on a full throttle track, especially with these newer cars, tire wear just doesn't matter as much as it used to. Coming out of turn 2 now. All the drivers just making their final preparations before they get out and race. They don't get too much time to think once we actually take the green flag. They're now entering turn 3. Alright, they're back to the front stretch. Pace car is pulling off. Drivers are getting ready. They'll hit this restart zone and they will be off. Trying to get as close as possible to each other without bumping. You don't want to be too aggressive on the start. It'll just lead to wrecking. Green flag is in the air and we are underway in the East to West Apparel Co. ARCA series. The inside line gets an early charge, leading by a couple of car lengths. Outside line has a few gaps in it. That's going to hurt them. They're not going to be able to get the charge they need. Dustin with a huge block. Tries to go to the outside, but it doesn't work. He has to swerve back down to the inside, and it'll cost that line some momentum. Three wide for third place. Dylan Dunford in the middle of that pack. Joshua Reese to his inside. That inside line's got some decent momentum going. Forrest Hamilton now with Brandon Combs on his rear bumper, making a charge to the lead. Dan Park on the inside with the help of Dustin Buck. Inside line now has some momentum. They'll charge to the front. Joshua Reese now having some help from Brad Stefane. They'll try to tandem their way back to the 68 and try to get that inside line further ahead. Forrest Hamilton in the 3. Not able to get the momentum that the inside line has. They'll start falling back. He's outside of the top 5 now. He was leading just a lap ago. Dustin Buck on his own little island. Not really getting much draft help. He'll have to back up to the 3 if he wants any momentum. Dylan blinking in and out. Not having the greatest internet at the moment. That could hurt the other drivers around him. Dan Park up in the lead. No one trying to challenge him on the outside as of right now. But the outside is getting stacked up if they can hold it. They should get some decent momentum and might make a charge to the front. The 55 will try to join the top of that line. Dustin Buck is being left out to dry in the middle of the racetrack. They're going 3 wide here. Dustin Buck not getting much help. No doubt frustrated, tries to throw a block on the 26 to get into the inside line. The 26 will go into the middle looking for some more help. Jesse Adams once again leading the outside line. Cal Thayer in the 12 car running strong. Back up front, Daniel Park still holding the inside line strong. 5 laps in. The outside has been struggling as of right now. Haven't gotten much of a charge, but it looks like they're going to try and make it 3 wide for second place. Brad Stefan in the middle, Joshua Reese on the inside, and the 28 of Brandon Combs on the outside. Looks like the outside line has gotten things sorted out. Adams will take the lead by a nose. Outside line has all the momentum now. Jesse Adams has it by a car length, 2 car lengths now. He will lead lap 6. He has taken over the lead. He has transitioned back to the inside line though. He'll surrender the outside lead to Forrest Hamilton. Both sides have really good momentum. Hamilton just barely ahead of Adams. The inside line will get a charge coming out of turn 4. Adams will get a little bump from Combs behind. Excuse me, Dan Park. And he'll go below the double yellow. Not sure if he was given some help there or if he just couldn't make the corner quite right. But he'll fall back to 15th and maybe more. That is heartbreaking for the 55. He has lost all of his track position so early on. The 95 of Devin Smith now holds down the inside line. Dustin Buck back up into 3rd now. After going into the middle lane and losing a bunch of track position, he will take the lead for the inside line. He'll get some momentum and he'll take over the lead. Sean Patrick looks to make it 3 wide, decides against it. Gives a shunt to the 3 and he barely saves it. Brad Stefan looking to join this 3-car tandem. Try to make some moves. Sean Patrick goes into the inside. He'll try to make a pass on the 3 using the help from the inside line. Brad Stefan will push the 3 to the lead just before the finish line. Not for the win, but he will get to lead some laps. Tom Quiring now, 3rd on the outside line. The 3 and the 89 will try to move to the inside. Tom Quiring will now hold down the outside. 89 and the 3 tandeming to the front. Almost resembling the old Car Tomorrow days. two drivers would lock up on each other and not move from each other's bumper, and they'd be able to charge to the front. The inside line is strong at the moment. Forrest Hamilton still in the lead. The 89 will try to take the lead away from the 3 with the help of Tom Quiring. Looks like he'll get it. Looking to transition down to the inside. They decide not to. They'll stick with the outside line. Brad Stefane is now your race leader, using the momentum of the outside to take the inside line away. There's only a couple of cars now trying to use the outside line. It's like Sean Patrick and Brad Stefane moving up a little bit, trying to get more momentum. We're going 3 wide for second place. Dustin dives to the inside, almost cutting Tom Quiring off, not giving him much room. Three cars on the outside now, holding strong, but the momentum on the inside line is a little bit stronger. They're gaining some ground. Forrest Hamilton back to the lead with Combs and Cal Thayer right behind him. 68, the 89, 46-2. That inside line is holding strong. We've got a dead heat for the top 6, not really able to get too far ahead of each other. It's allowing some of the guys from the middle of the pack to catch up. Sean Patrick will dive down to the middle with the help of the 17. Dean Qualley, your race control is in this race. The top 3 have now moved down to the inside. The outside has lost all of its momentum for now. Brad Stefane still at the front of the pack. Now we're getting to the point of the race where drivers will have to start thinking about pit strategy. These cars are only allowed to carry 60% of their max fuel capacity at all times, so they will have to pit every 20 to 30 laps depending on the track. And when you're going full throttle the whole time, it is hard to save fuel. The drivers have now settled in. There's one long inside line wrapping around the track. A few cars still trying to make an effort on the outside to take the lead. Looks like the 95 of Devin Smith. With, I believe, Dan Park. Sean Patrick trying to make the outside line work. Oh, the inside line gets all jostled up. 68 to 46, swerving a little bit. on board with second place. Driver Dustin Buck not trying to push Brad Stefan in the corner. These cars can get a little squirrely. Conquiring following closely behind. Again, not trying to push too much. The outside line looks to have some momentum now. A pack of 4 cars, they're following closely. Devin Smith at the front. Looks to be losing a little bit of ground, but they are much better than where they were just a few short laps ago. Top 3 still holding strong on the inside line. Trying to save whatever fuel they can with the draft. Like I said, it's not very easy to, but once you get further in the back of the pack, it does get a little easier to use all that extra draft and run maybe 80 or 70% fuel. There are now only 3 cars trying to run the outside line. Their momentum is fizzling out. With these cars not having the full power that an Xfinity or Cup car would, the draft really matters. When you only have a few guys on the inside or outside trying to make an effort, you're not really going to go anywhere. 95, the 3, and the 28. Not able to do much. They are pushing, though. They're going to try to make another effort to go to the lead. Side by side with Tom Quire. They are following much closer together than your inside line. We've got some takers to pit road. Dustin Buck, Sean Patrick, Kyle Thayer. They all go to pit road. Looks like we got a pack of about 10 cars taking to the pits. Devin Smith, your new race leader, being pushed by the 3 and the 28. But Brad Stefan was trying to make an effort, but now they have been cut off by that top line. Those 3 cars moved to the inside. Look, I assume they would be pitting soon. And they all go running the pit road. That's another 10 or so cars left. We now have 4 at the top. 00, the 88, the 19, and the 94 all have yet to pit. See Forrest Hamilton coming out of pit road now. They should be pitting next time. The rest all go down to pit road. With the pit cycle almost complete, it looks like Darren Krause will have the lead. Unless he is also yet to pit. Looks like he will be going now. Devin Smith will be your new race leader. This group of 4 is stuck together all race and they are not quitting yet. They all have a serious gap on the lead. With the pit cycle officially over now, is Derek Riegel the last car to pit is left. This is your race leader. These top 4 have played the strategy right so far. They are all light years away from the rest of the field. You can see well over a second ahead. And at a place like Talladega, that is a huge lead to have. Forrest Hamilton trying to make a move on the outside. He won't have the momentum to do it. Looks like Dylan Dunford might be catching the draft just a little bit, able to make a 10th on that straightaway. Using the push from the 0-0, they might be able to catch his top 4 next time by. This pack has a lot more momentum with all the cars they have. They've chopped another few tenths off. We will have a big pack for the lead here in a second, folks. We are right around a third of the way through the race. Devin Smith still at the lead. Their pack of 4s holding their own. I believe these 4 all pitted by themselves away from the rest of the pack. May have only taken 2 tires or no tires, and it is paying dividends for them. This pack is well over a second ahead of the rest of the field. Derek Kraus hitting without any help from the draft, went a lap too late. He will go a lap down. It goes to show just how important it is to stay with your draft buddies. He led a lap, then pit by himself, but it has killed his track position and his strategy. He has now joined the lead pack, making it a pack of 5. This lead pack trying to go around Eric has only shortened the gap between them and the pack behind. Dylan Dunford now within a second of Hamilton. The gap is shrinking more and more. Dylan once again having a little bit of connection issues. He'll get the run though. He has now joined the lead pack and we have a race. He'll try to make it 3 wide with Brad Stefane. Aaron Murphy will push Dylan Dunford to the lead. He is now taking it from Devin Smith. He has it by about half of car length. He'll continue to get the push from Aaron Murphy. It'll be close at the line, but we have a new leader. Dylan Dunford and the rest of the pack have caught up. The outside line now has a ton of momentum. Oh, and they're wrecking coming out of turn 2. They got together. Will the caution come out? I don't think a caution will come out for that. A caution will fly now. We'll have to go look and see what happened there. I believe that's the 19. We'll have to go and see what happened to him. Looks like Brad Stefane trying to give him a push out of the turn. Not exactly square on him. It'll hook the 19 into the inside line, wiping out Derek Kraus. And a few other contenders. Roy Hyde also caught up in it. Looks like most of the field is okay, however. Everybody going down pit lane. No doubt, after an accident, you'd want to make sure everything is okay, even if you weren't necessarily involved in it. At Talladega, a lot of drivers tend to get caught up in other people's wrecks. With aero being so sensitive, you want to make sure everything is perfect on these cars. Looks like Brandon Combs will be your new race leader once everything gets settled. "29 laps into the race. We're almost halfway through. Our drivers should have to pit 1 or 2 more times now. We should be coming to one to go here. We'll have to watch the lights on the pace car. Lights on the pace car are off. Our drivers are going double file. We will be going green next time by. If you're just joining us, we had a little bit of a wreck coming out of turn 2. Roy Hyde, Derek Kraus among those involved. Most of the field was left unharmed, but it gave them a decent opportunity to go and fill their tanks up, with there being such small gas tanks in these cars. It'll be Brandon Combs with Forrest Hamilton on his outside. Devin Smith in third, Aaron Murphy in fourth. Looks like Dylan Dunford in fifth, with the 16 of Travis Lepanis on the outside of him. Sean Patrick and Dean Qualley behind them. Pace car is now pulling off into the pits. Drivers only have a little bit more to go before we get back to green flag racing. Once they get to this restart zone, it'll be go time. Green flag is in the air. We are back underway. 30 laps into the race. Only a little bit more to go. Right around halfway through the event. Outside line not having the best start there. The inside line will once again get the early charge. Looks like most will quickly hop to the inside. Try to use that momentum to their advantage. Still have a few trying to make passes on the outside. No doubt the drivers are thinking of the incident that just happened, which involved 2 drivers on the outside line, and thinking twice about joining them. Only 4 cars trying to make a charge, the rest of the field using the inside. Even with 4 cars, though, they're still making a charge. They're back up, fighting for the lead. Forrest Hamilton trying to take it away. And it looks like he will. They'll block the inside line, prevent them from taking the lead back. 3 cars remain on the outside. Dean Qualley now leading the outside. Forrest Hamilton using the outside to his advantage, taking the inside and now taking the lead back. Dean Qualley, Kyle Thayer, Sean Patrick, Tom Quine, and Brad Stefane now using the outside. They lost a lot of ground, but it looks like they're trying to take it all back. They're going 2 and 3 wide, though, not really helping themselves. They'll go way up to the wall. Outside line currently in shambles. They're trying to get it reorganized. They shuffle out Dean Qualley. He'll be on the outside by himself, looking for an opportunity to swoop in. He'll fall to 17th and counting. Forrest Hamilton still at the lead of the pack. Sean Patrick leading the outside. Or excuse me, Dylan Dunford. They're trying to make moves. They do not like being on the inside. I have seen them on the outside more times than I can count. Michael Steele now joining them. Looks like the 88 or the 86 also joining in. That will be the 88. Sean Patrick, Dylan Dunford now up to the lead. Tom Quine will try to take it from him on the outside. Michael Steele pushing him behind. He'll come out of turn 4. Dylan will have the momentum and the lead. The outside line is starting to get organized though. They're charging to the front. We're going 2 and 3 wide now for top 5 positions. Now trying to battle with Dylan Dunford. Tom's goal as of the moment is to take the lead and try to get down to that inside line. Hopefully before the outside's momentum starts to fizzle away. He'll take it. That leaves Michael Steele to lead the outside pack. Brad Stefan pushing him, the 88 pushing him. Dylan Dunford pushing Tom Quine out to the front, trying to tandem to build a gap. Steele and Brad Stefan locked onto each other's bumper. Dylan trying to push Tom to keep the advantage on the inside, but Michael Steele will charge to the lead. Michael Steele will try to block the inside line. He'll take it. Michael Steele now leading the pack on the inside. Brad Stefan trying to side draft from the top. They'll go 3 wide for 5th, the 88, using the way high line with Dean Qualley. They'll get some momentum. They're trying to make 3 lanes now. It is getting antsy in the top 10. These drivers do not want to wait along at all. They're tired of 1 and 2 line racing. Inside line does have the lead and the momentum for the moment. The outside line is getting stronger. We are no longer 3 wide throughout the pack. quali with a charge from Brad Stefane. They'll gain some momentum. Looks like Jesse Adams is once again below. I'm not sure if he just came out of the pits for repair. Michael Steele still strong at the top of the leaderboard, followed closely by Tom Quiring in the 88. These drivers are pushing hard, but I do not believe they have enough gas to make it. We will see some pit strategy coming into play here soon. These drivers will want to start making their way to the inside for that. It is very hard to pit from the upper 2 lanes. Tom Quiring and Michael Steele move to the outside to block the momentum from Brad Stefane and Kyle Thayer. The 88 will try to use the inside momentum to take it, but right now it's that higher line that has all the momentum. Tom Quiring looking to see if there's any opportunity to make a pass. But there is none. Michael Steele still holding strong. Kyle Thayer now leading the outside of the pack. Brad Stefane, who we mostly saw on the outside today, is now transitioned to the inside lane. Maybe he will be pitting soon. Kyle Thayer holding his position in 5th. Was in 4th just a couple of seconds ago. That outside line is trying to get more organized. Heading into turn 3, the top 5 will all be on the inside. Kyle Thayer and the rest of the outside are trying to get that momentum going. It may take them a second. Laps in, not too much time left for these drivers. They're going to have one final pit and then a mad dash to the finish. Kyle Thayer and the rest of that outside line trying to make any position they can before this last pit stop. Most of the pack still trying to keep to that inside line. Tom Quiring will join Kyle Thayer on the outside. He'll look to take the lead away from Michael Steele. And he'll be able to. He'll move back to the inside. Tom Quiring able to use Kyle Thayer to jump around Michael Steele and take the lead away. But that has helped Kyle Thayer and company make it back to the lead. Kyle is now battling Tom Quiring for that top spot. He looks to have the momentum coming out of the tri-oval. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new race leader, Kyle Thayer. He'll move to the inside, trying to keep his position before the outside fizzles out. Brandon Combs now moving into the 3rd spot. Kyle moving to the outside. Maybe he got pushed out or was trying to move to the outside. But that'll give the lead back to Tom Quiring. Kyle falling back to 9th. Brandon Combs now leading the outside pack, trying to get around Tom Quiring. 95, Dylan Dunford trying to push him out to the lead. He led that last lap, but hasn't quite cleared the inside line. There, now at the back of the outside line. Sean Patrick looking to the outside to try to join them. Doesn't look like he will, though. 20 laps left of the race, almost 19. These drivers know it's go time. They're trying to make any and all positions they can. 5 car really pushing the 46. Brandon Combs again on the outside. They'll get a little discombobulated. Aaron Murphy and Michael Steele going below the line. Looks like Michael will lose all the track position he had. He'll jump back down to 9th. Aaron Murphy also getting a not so great outcome from that. Aaron Murphy falls to 12th. Top side though, they've got the momentum. The 28 and the 3 take the inside. Kyle Thayer not able to get in cleanly. He's left to dry on the outside. He's starting to fall back. He's looking for any and every opportunity to jump to that inside line. If he can't jump in, he's hoping someone can join him. Looks like he joins just behind Sean Patrick. Got a few drivers jumping to the high line in the back of the pack. Looks like Dust and Buck. They'll stay out. We got a couple drivers going to the pits. It looks like Kyle Thayer. Kyle Thayer goes to the pits by himself. I had believed I had seen more people join him, but he must have ran out of fuel trying to take the lead. Kyle Thayer now leaving the pits. Brandon Combs now at the top spot of the podium. He'll go to pit road along with a ton of the pack. Looks to be most of them, 10 or 15 cars. Dan Park, Dustin Buck, the 21 and the 11 all staying out, along with some further back. Cars now remain to pit. Kyle Thayer pitting a lap early. Without the help of draft, he's going to need a lucky break or else he'll become a lap car. Your top 4 all dive down to the pit lane. Dan Park will lead them in. Brandon Combs, Forrest Hamilton, Devin Smith leading the drivers that have already pit. Some team orders might have been in play there, maybe only taking 2 or no tires. Brad Stefane and Aaron Murphy just behind him, trying to make a charge. Once they get in their draft, it'll be much easier. 4 cars that stayed out, now losing time to the lead pack. Dustin Buck falling outside of the top 10. Jesse Adams will now lose another lap. To go. Brandon Combs out with the lead. After the pit cycle, the field is pretty spread out. A good strategy call by our top 3 has left them on their own little island. Trying to push Brandon, trying to keep their track position before the rest of the pack catches them. And Clark with Aiden in 21, trying to make a charge using the draft from the lap car of Jesse Adams. They have now officially caught up to your top 3. That lap car, though, is still a buffer between them. .55 doesn't look to leave that line anytime soon. He doesn't want to lose any more position than he has. But he will concede. He will let the leaders fight this out. Brad Stefane, 88, the 12, the 18, the 94, 46, 17. All in this second pack here, trying to catch up to the top 6. Be coming to 11 to go here. Brandon Combs still out with the lead. Hamilton almost inside Brandon Combs there. Inside the Brandon Combs car, trying to give him all the track position he needs. We are now officially 10 to go. Lap dash here, almost 9 laps to decide the winner at Talladega. Looks like Dan Park will hop to the outside and try to get around Brandon Combs. He's tired of waiting around. He will take the lead. 21 pushing him fiercely. We have a new leader. It will be Dan Park. He got tired of waiting around along with Aiden and Brandon. Fox. They got their momentum going and went around the outside. But now Combs will go around the inside with the 3 and the 95. They'll try to take the lead back using the same trick. It isn't working quite as well for them, but they are building momentum, going closely behind each other. All this jockeying for position is allowing that second pack to catch up. They have been slowly chopping away at their time. Another 2/10 have been gained from that second pack. They're getting a huge run on this top 6 now. 7 laps to go. They have now caught up to the pack. We are now 3 wide fighting for position. Getting a little squirrely there in the middle. Devin Smith will go to the high line. Dan Park still holding the lead, but the outside has a ton of momentum at the moment. Looks like Jesse Adams, the lap car, go ahead and back out, allowing the leaders to fight. He does not want to be caught up in any wrecks he doesn't need to be in. Outside line now has a ton of cars behind it and a ton of momentum building. Brandon Combs leading the outside, but Dan Park leading the race. 5 laps to go. A mad dash to the finish. The 88 will try to make it 3 wide. Brad Stefan will shoot to the outside. 28 and the 3 try making that third line work, and it doesn't work well for them. They will fall outside the top 10. Dan Park trying to get around the lap car of Kyle Thayer, who was leading the race, but either ran out of fuel too soon or tried making an alternate strategy work, and unfortunately it didn't pay off for him. Brad Stefan now trying to take the lead. We are 4 wide here for the lead. I believe Joshua Reese is a lap car, but 3 wide for the lead with a lap car is a very sketchy thing to do at Talladega. The drivers are able to make it work. Dan Park still in the lead with the outside gaining momentum. Oh, and we have a spinner in the back. Caution will fly. Let's go back and see what happened there. Looks like that'll be the 88 spinning around. Trying to follow the two lap cars, Joshua Reese and Jesse Adams. He'll go down, but he won't be entirely clear, and he will spin himself. Very unfortunate for him. He was charging for the lead just a few laps ago. 3 laps to go now. I believe this will take us into overtime. Lights are still on the pace car. You'll see some drivers swerving down onto the apron to try to save fuel. Well, this will bunch the field all back up. We'll have 2 even lines, one on the inside and one on the outside. You've got some drivers taking the pit lane. A lot of your leaders in lap cars not really able to save much gas in the draft. They may be a little short. You have a bunch of cars entering the pit. Hamilton, Combs, Buck, Smith, Reese, and Moreau. Dan Park staying out to keep his lead. This caution giving the drivers a little time to collect themselves. They were in the middle of a mad dash to the finish, but now they've got a little bit of time to think, consider what their next move should be. Dan Park in a difficult spot here. Every driver in the field wants to be where he is right now in 2 laps. So he's got to be really careful and try to figure out how he can keep this lead. We should be going 1 to go this time. The drivers will line up in double foul formation. '21, Aiden following closely behind even under caution, using any little bit of slipstream he can to save gas. Lights will go off on the pace car. We are officially 1-2 green. Field is now stacking up, waiting to go green for a 2-lap shootout to the finish. 63 laps, multiple cautions, multiple pit cycles has all come down to this. Dan Park on the inside, 21 on the outside, followed by Fox and Stefane, Dunford, Lepanis, Quiring, and Murphy. The outside all day has had momentum, but has always been a few car lengths away from the leader. They've only really been able to make passes for a brief second or so, but this caution will allow them to be side by side with the leaders with all the momentum they could ever need. We'll have to see how this plays out for that high line. The inside line has had the numbers, but they haven't necessarily had the momentum. They've been able to use track position. Whoever was leading the inside line would usually lead just because they had the numbers. But with the outside line being equally as big, it's going to present a challenge. Lights are off on the pace car. We'll dive down pit road. We are officially in overtime in the East to West Apparel Co. ARCA series. Drivers waiting for the green flag, getting all stacked up. Pushing and shoving even under the caution. Green flag will wave in the air. Dan Park able to get a jump, but will he be able to hold at the outside line, having the momentum? They'll get a little squirrely. Josh Fox trying to push Dan Park to the lead. He'll be able to do it. Dan will be clear by a couple of car lengths on all sides. But he'll fall back a little bit. That inside line has too much momentum for him to stay out there. They'll go 3 wide throughout the pack. The big crash on the outside. Caution will fly. Third caution of the night. We will go into double overtime. We'll have to go back and see what happened there. Oh, your second place runner, Aiden in the 21. Brad Stefane not entirely square when he pushes him. You see how so much of Brad Stefane's car is in that clean air. He's not pushing entirely straight. Just hooks Aiden entering turn 3. He'll collect Brandon Combs, who led so much of this race. Truly heartbreaking for those two. They'll both have to go down pit lane. Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for another overtime. Now that we've got some time under caution, let's see if we can hop on the radio and dial up some of your competitors. Looks like your current leader, Dan Park, is in voice chat. Let's go ahead and pull him into the booth, if it will let me. Hey Dan, it's Hunter in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Alright, so this is now the 4th caution we have had tonight. You've been in the lead for the past 2. Tell me, what's going through your head right now as you try to figure out how to manage this restart?
Trying to make sure I have enough fuel to make it all 3 laps.
Alright, if you don't mind me asking, how much do you have left? Are you able to see it?
4.1 laps.
So just barely enough if you're able to hold it under. You may be running on fumes here at the end. Well, good luck to you.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully all goes well. I'll go ahead and pull you back into your team booth.
Thank you, sir.
You just heard from your leader, Dan Park. He does not have a ton of fuel left. says he might not have enough to make it. Lights are still on the pace car. Should be going 1 to go next time by. Brad Stefane, after being involved in that last caution, still holding strong in third. He will be behind Dan Park once we get going here. Dan using the draft of the pace car, trying to get any little bit of gas he can. Lights are off on the pace car. We're going double file, 1 to go, and we will be back green flag racing. Brad Stefane going down to the apron, trying to save fuel. These drivers are running on fumes. They were trying to time their pit stops right so they would have enough at the finish. But when that finish is extended by a few laps more than you're expecting, it throws a wrench into your strategy. Dan Park able to survive the first overtime, but will have to go through another one. Once again, he is in the spot that every driver in the field wants to be in 2 laps from now. He's going to have to give it his best effort if he wants to keep that spot. Josh Fox to his outside. Brad Stefane underneath him. Or excuse me, behind him on this restart. Pace car dives down to pit road. Ladies and gentlemen, we are under double overtime. This will be our second attempt. Dan Park on the inside, Josh Fox on the outside, leading the inside and outside lanes. We are going green flag racing. Once again, a 2-lap shootout to end the race if they can keep it clean. Josh Fox dives to the inside and keep his 3rd place spot. Brad Stefane will be able to jump to 2nd. Dylan Dunford and Tom Quaring also staying on the inside. We're getting very squirrely for the outside. Dan Park gets dumped. Sent into the inside wall. Heartbreaking finish for him. Brad Stefane will take over the lead. We have caution number 4. We will be heading to triple overtime. Let's see if we can get a look at what happened there. Your race leader leading so much of the late part of the race. Brad Stefane, another bad push. Not entirely sure if it's his fault. Let's go look back at his replay. Just trying to push, trying to get all that track position. Unfortunately, ships Dan Park to the inside wall. But even before that, they were jockeying for position. Look at Dustin Buck. I believe that's the 16. nevertheless heartbreaking for your former race leader. Brad Stefane, after being involved in, I believe, 3 cautions tonight, will cycle to the race lead. Josh Fox, once again, will start on the outside pole. Drivers now might not have enough to make it. They'll all go down to pit road. Dustin Buck, Devin Smith, Dean Qualley staying out. But many of your top 10 all having to go down pit road. Not enough gas to survive another overtime. This will really shake up the field here. Dustin Buck out to the lead, with Smith and Qualley following behind. I believe that's Joshua Reese taking the lucky dog position, gaining one of his laps back. Oh, we are under another caution. Let's see who we can ring up on the radio. Looks like we've got Brad Stefane. Let's try to give him a call. Hey, Brad, it's Hunter in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I got a copy. What's going on?
All right. Not much. You were fighting hard in the middle of that overtime and then had to dive down to pit road. What was going on with your gas mileage? Did you have enough to make it?
Realistically, probably not. We're gonna be a little short. Probably not even quite half a lap, but we couldn't risk it there. We're gonna be fine. Unfortunately, with that restart, I was pushing Dan. We're totally fine through the corner. I was just giving him a push on the backstretch, and his car went literally just straight left. I was pushing him through the corner. We're totally fine, and I have no idea what happened. It was super weird. But yeah, obviously this last green and white, I couldn't afford to stay out. We had to come in and get some gas. So this is going to be an interesting start. We're going to try to get up there. I don't think it's going to happen. We're pretty far back here, so.
We saw it up here in the booth. Everything was looking fine, but it looked like maybe you guys just weren't square enough on each other's bumpers. But
we're straight up, like as square as it could be. It couldn't be any more square on my screen. That's why it was just I don't understand what happened.
Yeah, I was confused up here too. It looked like a good push, but it just had a terrible outcome. But
yeah, pretty unfortunate. So yeah, we're gonna see what happens here. Cross our fingers.
All right, well, we're going 1 to go. I will leave you to it. Thank you for joining me in the booth.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, there was Brad Stefane involved in the caution. Not really sure what happened. Up here, it looked like a good push, but either maybe some net code had to have happened, or I'm not entirely sure. They were pretty square on each other. But that caution will give Dustin Buck the lead on the inside. Devin Smith on the outside. Dean Qualley now in third, right behind Dustin Buck. Forrest Hamilton will take outside row 2, followed by Adams, Hamilton, Steele, and Murphy. Our 4th caution of the night will take us into triple overtime. If they weren't already, these drivers are definitely low on fuel. We've already seen about half the field have to pit for more and give up that track position. Brad Stefane going low to save more fuel. He was saying he should be fine now, but you never know with these overtimes. They have to make it to the white flag before they call it official. They could do this a few more times before they get it going. But nevertheless, the pace car will dive down pit road once again. Dustin Buck on the inside, Devin Smith on the outside, Dean Qualley and Forrest Hamilton just behind him. Dustin Buck will get going, and green flag is in the air once again in the RMRL, or EFRL, East to West Apparel Co. ARCA Series. 2 laps to go at Talladega. 21 of Aiden with some serious problems, diving down below the double yellow, conceding track position. Dustin Buck trying to make a block on the outside. It will not work. He'll be pushed hard by the 17. Brad Stefane trying to make a move happen below them. Cal Thayer pushing him aggressively there. All the insides trying to jockey for position. It'll push Devin Smith to the lead. Forrest Hamilton just behind them. Inside line will gain some momentum. Dustin Buck trying to charge back to the front. And they wreck almost coming into the tri-oval. Caution will fly once again. Tom Quiring, Sean Patrick among those involved. They'll wreck again under caution. I believe that may be it. Scoreboard is telling me final lap. That might be it here. They might have put a limit on how many overtimes they could have had. Let's go back and look at what happened there. Have to go back a little further, trying to make it 4 wide. Sean Patrick trying to come down, comes down a little too far. Will collect him, Tom Quiring, and several other drivers there. Heartbreaking for them at the finish. Looks like we have our checkered flag. Dylan Dunford looking to be your winner. Forrest Hamilton and Dustin Buck following behind. I'm not sure how true my overlay information is. The pace car is still on track. They may just be finishing their last caution lap. Forrest Hamilton unofficially crossing the line in first. Dustin Buck behind him. It looks like we've got cars pulling off. Forrest Hamilton will win at Talladega. We'll have to go back and watch his last lap. Well, from what this is telling me, I'm sure you guys can see it too. He was around mid-pack when they actually crossed the line. Dylan Dunford and I believe that's Dustin Buck in a dead heat there with Dean Qualley in third. We'll have to go to the live camera view to see what's going on there. Dean Qualley, your race control will get everything sorted out. We'll have to see who the top 3 is at the flag. Well, it took 3 overtimes and a lot of chaos, but we had one heck of a finish at the line. The drivers gave each other a decent amount of room, but raced hard all night. Aaron Murphy, not entirely sure what was going on. Looked like he was saying hello to Dustin Buck there. Dustin Buck will park it. He is definitely one of your top 3. I am just not sure where he is and how he's supposed to fill in. Looks like Forrest Hamilton has been declared the winner. Dustin Buck in second, Anthony Hamilton in third. We'll give Dustin a moment to circle around and get ready for the podium picture. Top 3 get their picture taken every night. Oh, looks like the other drivers aren't giving him enough time. But oh well. Your top 3 tonight, Hamilton, Buck, and Hamilton. We'll go ahead and give these drivers a second to hop into the broadcast booth. And we'll start with interviews once they are ready. We don't have any drivers in the waiting room yet. I'm not sure if the lineup is still getting sorted out. Look, Kyle voicing displeasure with his crew chief, saying he was told to pit a lap early. Still waiting on our top 3 to join the booth. We're going to give them just a little bit more before we start wrapping up tonight's show. All right, while we're waiting for your top 3, let's go ahead and pull in Mr. Aaron Murphy. Says he would like to join the broadcast booth for a little bit. Aaron, it's Hunter. Do you have a copy?
Hey, Hunter, how's it going?
Not too bad. Well, normally I would be pulling in the top 3, but I guess it is my first show, so there is no norm here.
And since we don't know who finished where,
We were thinking the same thing. It's telling me
I mean,
Forrest Hamilton won, but was running 6th at the line.
I don't know if I finished 6th, 5th, 10th.
I
But
have you
what
on the leaderboard is 6th, or as 6th. I'm not
What
really
a crazy
sure
race.
Oh, absolutely. Triple
I
overtime
mean,
there, wrecking to the line.
it was a lot of fun, a good race. You know, we had a caution or two during the race, but towards the end, the 3 green white checkers was just chaos.
Oh, absolutely. These super speedway races, it takes them a while to get there, but once you get to those last 10 laps, it's every man for themselves.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I got caught up in that first green white checkered wreck, and had to pit about 2 minutes of repairs, and so if I did finish 6th, I salvaged a great finish because I restarted that final green-white checkered in 16th.
Well, you were able to avoid a lot of the major wrecks, I believe.
Yeah, other than that one that tore up my car a little bit, and well, I went from 16th to 8th when the last caution, well, the second to last caution came out. But yeah, it was pretty chaotic, but it was fun. I guess we'll just have to see what the officials decide to post as the official results. I will be anticipating that. But yeah, look at me just missed that wreck. That was just beautiful.
Well, we have you pulled up on the replay. You crossed the line 10th. I'm not sure where the 4 spots came up on the results.
I believe it's probably from vehicles that were ahead of me right there, but then didn't make it all the way around.
That's probably the case. I am still
I
trying
know
to get
my
a good look at this.
I know my teammate in the 38, he was unable to go the rest of the way around the track, I believe.
To try to put it into quarter speed. Ah, well, just missed it. I'm trying to get a look at the finish here. From what we can see on the track,
that would be coming to the white flag. So it just depends on when the caution came out.
I see what I do believe it came out before the drivers crossed the line.
Well, actually, it came out before then because you see the pace car. You should pay attention to the pace car and see when that comes out because that will determine when the caution came out. Because there was a wreck behind deep in the field before this happened at the beginning of the trial.
I think I was following that. That was with Tom. Yeah, that was out of
See,
Tom
so the pace
turn
car
forward.
the pace car is already out.
The pace car out well before the white flag.
Yeah, see, the pace car is already driving before that wreck even happens.
Well, this has got to be one of the most confusing finishes we've had in EFRL history. 10 minutes
Definitely
later, still undecided as to what is the official lineup.
Definitely the most confusing this season for sure. Not really sure who the real winner is or where anybody really finished.
Well, if I were to know a guy that decides lineups, it would no doubt have to be our race control. So let's go ahead. Let's bother old Dean Qualley for a little bit. Hey Dean, it's Hunter in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so we're just trying to figure out what happened here, really. It looks like the caution had come out before the white flag, but we had people cross the line under caution and then not make it. Forrest was able to get some positions and is declared the winner on my end. I just want to know kind of what you're looking at to decide the lineup.
That was the third green white checkered, so we went back to when the yellow came out. So Devin Smith is your winner, Forrest is second, and Dustin Buck is third.
Devin Smith, Forrest, and Dustin Buck. Okay. That does make a little more sense. Thank you. Alright, so that is not what I was predicting.
Hey, you heard it from the man himself. He's the one that has final say.
Yeah, race control always has final say. He went and looked at the moment of caution. Devin Smith, your winner. Forrest Hamilton in second. Dustin Buck in third. Still able to make the top 3. Still waiting for them
Hunter,
to come in for their
if
interviews.
you would like to go ahead and interview them, I will see myself out.
Are you sure you don't want to stay for the interviews?
I mean, if you'd like me to, I didn't think you'd want to talk to the 10th place finisher.
Well, all drivers are welcome when they're actually present. I've been waiting on our top 3 for a while now. Not trying to throw shade to them, but gets a little lonely up here sometimes. I'm used to being able to bounce back and forth with Tom Quiring on the Tuesday night series. Which, by the way, if y'all enjoyed tonight's show, tomorrow night I will be broadcasting the Strange Brew Racing Legends series. They will take on Five Flag Speedway for 50 laps. Heat races around 8:20 Eastern Time with the feature to follow. But it looks like Dustin Buck is now in the waiting room. We'll go ahead and pull him in. Dustin, do you have a copy?
Yeah.
All right, so that was a wildly entertaining finish there. We were still trying to figure out who got the win. We had to pull Dean Qualley in, and you were able to get a top 3. Tell me.
Yeah, I just got lucky, man. I botched my pit stop there under green, and when that yellow came out at the end of the race, I was running 14th, and I just ducked down pit road and topped off. My only hope for a good finish was for the green white checkers to keep coming, and yeah, 90% of the battle at this track is just being lucky. And luck went my way this time. It'd have been nice to get a couple more spots up, but to go from 14th when that yellow came out to top 3, I'll take it and run all day long. Dean was pushing me pretty good there at the end. We were gonna try to just bounce at the start as soon as I got in the restart zone. And he got a decent start, but it didn't work how we wanted it to, and they got back by me, and we probably should have just went on green. It probably would have been a little bit better, but we made a plan and gambled, and it's fine. I didn't wreck tonight, and um, they were pretty upset. I showed up, took the pole point, and I got a top 3. So it's a fun night. I started out front and got a top 3 at Talladega. I hate these races. I was bored and showed up, and it worked out for me.
Yeah, you do sometimes have to get lucky with the cautions, but it takes a lot of skill to be able to avoid the wrecks. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we cut you loose for the night?
You got me laughing because there was no skill in avoiding anything I avoided tonight. It was all straight luck. They did wreck in front of me, and I got lucky at least once. So um, it just the luck rolled in my direction tonight. I'll take it. The pendulum of bad luck will swing the other way at some point. I'll have a rough night at some point, but just thank you for doing the broadcast, Dean for throwing the league together, and yeah, it was pretty clean race. But we got bunched up there at the end. It's hard not to have yellows when there's green white checkers at Dega. So the 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 race pretty much ran mostly under green, and it just says how well everybody here does and how much car control people have. So just thank everyone in the league for you know putting together good races, good long green flag runs to get the guys that run it, Mick and Dean, and you for broadcasting.
Well, thank you very much. Congratulations on your 3rd place finish and have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Well, that was our 3rd place finisher, Dustin Buck. We are still waiting on Forrest Hamilton and Devin Smith, your race winner. I could go ahead and pull them in, but I'm not sure if they are at their computer at the moment. We'll go ahead and give them just a little bit more time. All right, the rest of our drivers are in the waiting booth. Let's go ahead and bring in second place finisher, Forrest Hamilton.
What's up, guys?
And not too much. For a while there, iRacing was telling us you were the winner of tonight's event, but EFR rules are different than iRacing, so we had to go back to the time of caution, and you were just a little bit behind Devin Smith.
Yeah, I mean, what happened there at the time of caution was after the 95 got wrecked. I just had too much momentum, and it just ended up shoving him, got him loose. But he deserves that, though. He raced his ass off.
But yeah, you guys were at the lead or trying to make passes for the lead all night long. We couldn't stop talking about you in the booth. You were always in the top 5, always trying to make that pass on the outside. Tell me, when
Yeah.
them... Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
When them cautions were coming out, what kind of mindset were you trying to get into? What kind of game plan did you have trying to survive those restarts?
We were just staying focused as a team. DHR, the 95, me, and the 28, we were just staying together and trying to get to the wall because we had been there all race. We knew what speed we had. It was just trying to survive. We had the fuel because we pitted 3 or 4 cautions before the first green white checkered ever came out, so we had the fuel to make it and everything.
Yeah, you guys showed a lot of speed tonight. Had some of the best coordination, especially when it came to that outside. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to for helping you get to where you are?
I mean, I just like to shout out, like I said, my teammates, the 95 and the 28. We all worked together. That was our game plan to execute. We executed it about as well as I think we could. 28 got caught in the one wreck. That's unfortunate, but me and the 95 1-2, what we needed.
All right, congratulations on your runner-up finish. We'll go ahead and bring in your teammate here in a second. Have a good
appreciate it.
night.
You too.
All right. Now bringing in your winner of tonight's race, Devin Smith. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good after that one. Crazy finish.
Yeah, it's not very often you see triple overtimes here in EFRL.
No, not at all.
Yeah, we were talking to Forrest Hamilton. You guys had some really good coordination all night long.
Yeah, we tried to stay together as much as we could. Sometimes we got a little separated, but we managed to always end up back together. So we did pretty good all night.
All right, yeah, we almost constantly saw you trying to make a move to the outside with Forrest and some of them other guys. But how were you able to survive all of those restarts?
I could not tell you. The first one, we had a hell of a run off of 2. Got blocked by the 88, which might have helped us get through that first wreck because the 21 got sent to the outside wall and we barely squeaked by. The second one, though, was pretty easy considering, what was it, the 7 just kind of got sent down into the inside wall and nothing else really happened there, which is unfortunate, but, you know, it happens with these cars not lining up as perfect as some other cars that are on the service here, but yeah, going into that last one, it was kind of with everybody having to pit there for more fuel on that last stop, gave us good track position on the outside, and we just wanted to stay there. Usually, the outside usually has the runs off the corner, which is where we preferred to have the runs at. And yeah, we kind of just held on there at the end. Had Anthony behind us helping us there at the end. And yeah, we managed to hold on.
Yeah, some good pit strategy, good team strategy, and a little bit of luck got y'all a 1-2 finish tonight. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out? Helped you got to where you are?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out the team. You know, we got Forrest, we got Brandon on our team as well. Well, semi on our team as well. He'll be joining us for the Xfinity Series next year as a fourth. Michael Steele, graphics for making the awesome paint scheme that we were rocking tonight with the Grey Goose on it. And the league with Dean and Mick unfortunately couldn't be here due to storm issues and power failures. So hopefully he gets back for next week. But yeah, it's been a good season so far. Can't wait for the Xfinity cars next year, or well, next season I should say. But overall, awesome race, and thank you for broadcasting tonight because I'm sure that was definitely a good one to broadcast.
It was very entertaining up here in the booth, 2 and 3 wide almost all the time. For my first solo broadcast in the series, I hope I did okay. Everyone will have to go back and rewatch it.
Oh,
But,
I'm sure there will be a lot of people going back to rewatch that one.
Yeah, I just got the word from Race Control. Every review is under position except for yours. So congratulations on your for sure win, and have a good night, man.
Thank you, you too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude our show for tonight. A finish that is still trying to be decided with only one position being for sure, and that is Devin Smith in first place. We saw a lot of chaos, a decent amount of fuel saving, and a little bit of luck just about everywhere. Tune in tomorrow night around 8:15 Eastern Time, where I will be covering the Strange Brew Legend Series. Thank you very much, everyone. I've been Hunter Wellman.